All right, everybody. Episode 2. Tapcast here at Aviator
Chicken wings.
Tap House. Now, listen. We're going to start with beer tonight. And if you haven't been to the Tap House at Aviator in Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina, so for some of you around the world, sorry, you have to try this cask. It is a chocolate hazelnut. I've been drinking a lot. No, I just started actually. It's a chocolate hazelnut stout, and this is probably. I mean, they've done a lot of really good casts. They do them every week, starting on Wednesday to Sunday. This is the stout is stout. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I think so. This one is I'd say one of the better ones. Now, back in the summer, they did a triple with raspberry, and then the next week they did their Devil's Triple with blueberry, or vice versa. Now, those nights, maybe I had... anyway, they were really good. But this is one of the better ones. You got to come check it out if you're in the area. And then what have you been drinking lately?
So...
this is not lately. This is like a long-term year addiction he has.
Yeah, this is called Avila. It's Sierra Nevadas, and they have different ones, but it's a collaboration with the monks of the Abbey of New Clairvaux, which I think is cool. I was in seminary. I always studied monasteries and things like that, so I think it's kind of a cool take. They got a little monk on the front, but anyway, it's really good. They have a couple different ones. This is the Abbey Golden with pomegranate, so it's got a little bit of spice to it. It's pretty good.
Now, since you brought up seminary, some people may know, but may not know that a lot of our beers today, and what really probably propelled beer as a beverage, is church monks. That's what they did. Even in the Protestant world, I think Martin Luther was big into beer, and he or his wife, I think one of them was a brewmaster, and then also not Wesley, what's the guy, the preacher, England, that the guy Spurgeon.
No, maybe.
I think it was his wife was a brewmaster. So really the anti-beer, alcohol deal with church is kind of a 150-year-old thing that came out of the temperance movement in the U.S. Thank you, U.S., for a quality product of anti-alcohol. But that's a relatively new thing, and it's really against 2,000 years of Christendom. So if you're a believer, you should drink.
Or you should join a monastery. Or
join a monastery and make beer. Beer, alcohol, of any type. I mean, Jesus made it, right? I mean, so if he, you mean like maybe he didn't do anything? Is that what you're saying?
No, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was not fermented.
Don't even propagate such a foolish notion. So anyway. Jesus made it, drink it, it's good. And if you don't believe in Jesus, that's okay too. He still made it, but and drink it. What else? I wanted to talk about mine. So I have not had this yet, but this is by Deschutes, and this is the Harpoon E-Hop collaboration.
Size doesn't matter.
Well, mine is bigger. So anyway, this is. This was recommended by our local bottle shop, also run by Aviator, and Josh, who's a great bottle shop manager. If you're local, go in there, he'll help you pick it out. But anyway, I'll be trying this soon, and I have probably a refrigerator full of bottles of things from the bottle shop. Oh, we got a little camera change here.
I'm going to go stage right to finish this chicken wing before it gets cold.
Oh, yeah, they got good chicken wings here. We also have a couple other guys that are hiding off camera. One of them is a big beer connoisseur.
Camera shot.
He's always... Steve, what are you drinking lately?
Just right now, just the chocolate hazelnut stout. It's excellent. Can't recommend it enough.
What about at home? What do you got? Like, what did you just buy at Bottle Revolution? Is that where you go, Bottle Revolution?
Typically Bottle Revolution off of Lake Newton here in Raleigh. But it's been... tried a couple of the Southern Tier beers.
Oh, yeah. Did you have the Walking Dead Blood Orange?
I haven't had the Walking Dead.
It's pretty good. I had it last week. I drank it with watching The Walking Dead. Yeah.
That'd be good. That'd be a good conversation. What beer is perfect for what TV show?
Well,
maybe not.
and I think the story on that is that The Walking Dead is filmed in Atlanta, and so they were big fans of the brewery. And from my understanding, they actually approached the brewery and asked them if they could do a beer with them.
Somebody needs a muffler.
Local Fuquay. And the brewery, they were like, oh, of course. I mean, like, they, it wasn't them going to Walking Dead. Walking Dead came to them. So.
Well, I went to the, whatever the places over by Whole Foods. I keep forgetting the name of it. What's the place over by Whole Foods?
I know what you mean.
It's not Total Wine. It's something else. But anyway, they have they had like it was like not a holiday. It was like a gift box, but it was two Game of Thrones beers with a Game of Thrones like.
Yeah, they've got them over there at Aviator. I don't know if they have the mug, but they got the beers.
Something about it was like a black, something to do with the wall and taking the black or something like that, like taking the black stout or something.
I think that's the same kind of story that the Game of Thrones people, is it Amagon that does it? I think they liked the beer and they went to them and asked them if they would do it. And they were like, of course, I mean, so.
So maybe we can find somebody to make a beer for us.
The Tap Cast beer?
Yeah, the chocolate hazelnut.
Maybe we already have it right here.
The one last week was good. What was that?
It was pecan bourbon-soaked pecan.
Yeah. It was good.
What type was? Oh, it was it was a pumpkin beast with bourbon-soaked pecans.
Yeah.
But you missed it.
I missed it.
Yeah, it was good. I'll say this: I don't think it was as good as this beer, though.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not a huge chocolate fan, so I mean, this is good, but it's.
What do you mean you're not a chocolate fan? I didn't know
Was that
that.
your last? Yours almost gone.
It's very chocolate. Hey, it doesn't mean I drink fast.
Okay, so you got to stop slamming the table.
Sorry.
It's so heavy-handed. So sports. We usually try to talk about sports. We had the whole Michigan debacle. Now I can't remember her name, but one of the ESPN commentators does Grantland. She's a Sparty. She went all in and just blasted Michigan because she was like, "You fans, like you knew I was going to do it, and here it comes." And she just like, "We own you." But she talked about how all she heard was like Michigan this, Michigan that all year. They got Harbaugh, and she showed that they actually some of the Michigan fans took a spray painted a statue of Magic, like put the M on it and all this stuff. And she's like, she said, we could have dominated, could have this, but it was perfect that you lost this way because this was going to hurt. This is going to be like, but it was really good. And then Brady Hoke today said he would have gone for it, but I think it was Wenzel or one of the sports writers was like, yeah, but he'd have been down 23, so
it wouldn't have mattered.
What else? There was something else big sports this week.
Well, you got the Mets are killing the Cubs, so I think that's about done.
Maybe the Cubs come back tonight, and then
it's like 6-0 already.
Yeah, but it was only the fourth. If they come back, it goes to Harry Carey.
It goes to GOAT.
They come back, and then they can fulfill the prophecy.
This is the whole Back to the Future thing is getting blown apart right now because.
But it's not over.
It's not over.
I watched a game years ago, and they were down like 8 or 9 in the ninth, and they came back, and Harry Carey he was already drunk, but he was like gone by then.
Can you imagine if they're down 6-0 and they come back like in the ninth inning and win on Back to the Future Day?
Oh,
the Twitter would explode. Yeah, the whole internet will explode.
Gone. Yeah, it's going to be awesome, epic.
Except for they're not going to probably score. Right?
It could happen, but they are the Cubs. Yeah. So you were saying you were listening to. Was that 99.9 The Fan today, and they were doing if you could go back and change Back to the Future
Day, because this is the day that
they
Michael Marty McFly sets the DeLorean to go into the future. Was October.
So if they so they were doing if you could go back and change one sporting event, what would it be?
Right.
What would you change?
I don't know what you could do to actually change this. So I guess you have to figure out what the rules of this game are, but. I still would like to go back and change when Duke lost to Arkansas in the national championship game because Antonio Lang missed blocking this dude's shot by a fingernail, and then they got made it and they won the game. And that was Grant Hill's senior year. He stayed. He just so deserved to win. and they didn't have a great team. So.
Is that the one that there was? Is that the one where he was? Who was it that was dunking like he was laying out and dunk that like famous dunk? Was that in the Arkansas?
Oh,
game?
no, that was the first. That was when he was a freshman. That was when they won. When Grant was a freshman, he pulled back from way back. Called the alley-oop and dunked it. Yeah, that was the first time they won. Yeah, so this was the year that he stayed, and like he was the team, and then he had a couple of role players and some freshmen, and like they really had no business probably going that far, but they got hot and went through the tournament and ran into Arkansas and could have won.
I'm not sure what I would go back. I mean, probably besides I think 85 or 6 Super Bowl, every Super Bowl the Patriots have been in, I would go back and
How about if you
change
could go
their
back
cheating
and
ways.
not be a Cowboys fan? You could just change yourself.
Nah, I would never change that. Never change that.
Convince Jerry Jones to pick up Manziel.
Hey, there you go. That would look good. That'd be a great pick. That would be perfectly Cowboys. I can't believe that didn't happen.
I'd take it right now.
You take Manziel right now?
Absolutely. Because you can't equate what's happening in Cleveland to what happens in Dallas. Because in Dallas, you're going to have handlers. He's in a poor franchise in a small market that doesn't know how to control players and doesn't know how to operate in that. It's not apples
Dallas
to apples.
has done a great job of controlling their players.
Hey, guess what? Since we haven't had players like that, we haven't won.
Yeah.
So, you don't. Hey, as Jerry said when his son told him not to draft him, he said, we didn't get here by not taking risks. And, if you want to win, you take risks. Like you play Steve Smith on Sunday and you take the risk, especially if your name's Steve Smith and you're a Baltimore fan and you would win your fantasy game.
For our other
Yeah, but it's too good. It's too good. Steve, did you play Steve Smith this week in your fantasy?
I did not play Steve Smith this week.
And what's your name? Steve Smith? And you're a Ravens fan.
I am a Ravens fan.
And that cost you?
Would you go back?
Would you go back and change that? Would you go back in DeLorean
and change that?
I did lose this week. I had the third most points in our league, and lost to the person with the second most points.
You did. Yeah. I would use the DeLorean to change fantasy stuff a lot.
Right.
If I had the DeLorean, I'd be like, I'd be out of what is it? The thing runs on the flux capacitor and something. I don't know. I'd be out of whatever you have to put in there to change your fantasy.
Speaking of that, today they were showing like he was pouring Miller Lite or something like that in it, and all these memes were on social media like, it's 2015. Nobody drinks that anymore. Everybody drinks craft beer now. Like, this is not, I think I would go back and change, because I'm probably, even though I'm getting older, I'm still young, but I'm more of a purist, and I like things to be, sports to be right and ethical. I think I'd go back and change things with UNC and their cheating ways. Because they've been doing it ever since Dean Smith.
I think you would go back.
They've been giving cars, giving classes, a bunch of cheaters.
I think you would go back and try to get recruited to Louisville. Is probably what you would do. You'd improve your basketball skills and then try to get recruited by the.
Yeah.
You could go as his guardian.
Well, they said some of the Guardians were participating, but nobody. It didn't happen.
Well, the Latino survived. That's the question.
Look, I don't want to say. We all have issues, and I don't want to. I'm not trying to slander him or anything like that. But he has survived worse. Wasn't it him that had sex with the waitress in the bathroom and all that at a restaurant?
If your kids are watching,
that's worse than
turn away from this part of the
Well, it's after their bedtime. I think he survives. He's winning. It's all about winning. If you're losing, you're done. If you're winning,
it all depends
you're
on what
stay.
comes out with this assistant dude or what
they're going to pin it on
what he does or doesn't say. If nobody talks in NCAA, they're not going to do anything. There's nothing.
Somebody's going to talk, but NCAA it doesn't.
Well, they said I heard today that. I heard today that whoever the person is that's exposing, the lady in charge of this whole thing, she went directly to the NCAA and they hung up on her. They said
NCAA only seems to care about what they care about at that moment. So you take SMU. SMU's got multiple suspensions, can't go to the tournament, Brown suspended, and then you have Carolina who had half the team on the championship team that had fake classes. And they were doing it for years, and no basketball has been suspended at all. And they were like, it's not a basketball issue. No, I'm just saying they do not. their justice is not balanced and even. They don't treat programs the same. So, I mean, even what Syracuse got compared to SMU, when you compare, Syracuse had a multiple year issue, and this was like one issue at SMU, like, it's not the same. And that's, I don't know, I don't know why, but that's just how they are. So Louisville's a big name program with a big name coach, and it's about revenue. The big name teams who bring revenue in the tournament, because NCAA is about making money in the tournament, they want Carolina to be in the tournament because they want to make money. They want Louisville to be in the tournament. They want to make money. They want Syracuse in the tournament. They want to make money. SMU, not going to bring money to the table. So it's easier to drop the hammer on those guys and set an example, but because you're not tied to money. It's all about money, not justice.
Maybe I would go back and change something with the what was that movie, 8 Men Out, in the World Series with Shoeless Jackson?
Yeah.
I don't know what you would change, but that was a pretty...
Well, there's
it
talk
seemed like
recently.
Jackson got a raw deal in that.
Well, there's been talk recently about reinstating him. There's a big push to do that.
It's on with Pete Rose.
And I think Pete should be reinstated. I mean, even I'm a Dodgers fan, and Tommy Lasorda's like, no. He bet, no. But, and Lasorda, I mean, look, he played, he's a coach. Obviously, he's got way more. I'm just a nobody fan. But to me, I'm like, the dude's top 10 in all the stats. There's no question about him betting as a player. This is all about when he was a coach. So as a player, based on his stats, he should be in. Put an asterisk by it. Even in the Hall of Fame, put a little thing about it. Hey, make it, teach a lesson with it. But when you talk about greatest players, I mean, there's no way to deny that he's not one of the greatest players.
You put him and
you
Bonds and
you look,
a little wing of people.
You have all these guys, they're on roids. You've got guys who've done drugs and they let him in and out. I mean, Darryl Strawberry for years had problems. There was no issue letting him in and out of the game. I mean, and I'm not singling him out. I mean, there's other good people.
When I was coming back from lunch today, they were talking about who they should do 30 or 30s on, and they're like, how have they not done a 30 for 30 on Jose Canseco yet? And they were just talking about like the crazy, like how far down on the list like crazy stuff is, and that's like he dated Madonna, and that's like way down on the list. Like he had a home run bounce off his head.
Yeah, that's the first thing popped in my mind.
But that's like number 8 on the craziness of his list. I mean, they were talking about how
he was on Apprentice.
They said he got stopped. Yeah, he was on the Apprentice. They said he got stopped by the cops or something, had 2 goats in his trunk with like diapers on. I mean, it's crazy. It's like, so I mean, it's like his level of like, I mean, the crazy things you remember for even way down on the list. And he was like he was a superstar. Crazy dude. I loved the A's when I was like 13 or whatever, right in his prime. I was like,
who's the Yankee that's had all the roid problem?
Rodriguez?
Yeah. Is he going to get in the Hall?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're saying this year. I mean, like he's only, I forget what it is, but he's within like 60 home runs. I mean, they're talking about now if he has another year like he did this year, he's gonna get to records that they didn't think he was gonna get to because nobody thought he was gonna do anything this year.
But then, like you said earlier, how do you allow all these guys that run roids to get all these like, I don't know.
Well, baseball's a funny sport like that. I mean,
Bud Selig is the issue. I mean, as commissioner,
well, I think at some point
he's not been good for baseball.
I think at some point they're going to have to go back and just talk about an era of people when the game was just dirty during that era.
It's his
and
watch.
You're gonna have to,
I mean,
but I mean, I think as far as recognizing records, you're going to have an asterisk or something that says this period was.
Yeah.
Just
but he's a guy who doesn't like Roselle. Doesn't like Rose. I mean, new commissioners like, hey, we'll talk about it. We'll relook at it. Selig was always like, no. I mean, Selig allowed those guys to go and turn a blind eye to it. You're a commissioner. It's your responsibility. But it was all about TV ratings, and baseball was waning, and everybody's watching, so it's okay. It's okay to have, guys jack 80 home runs on roids. All right.
They hit him really far.
I
remember Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah, I liked it.
I mean, it was pretty.
I liked it.
I remember they were like breaking in, and it was like you're watching the home runs, and they're playing each other. It was crazy.
Okay, but you talk about the A's. You go back and look at
McGwire,
and then you look at him when he's hitting home runs. He's like a stick figure, and then he's like.
I remember when I started collecting baseball cards, it was like. I think it might have been 1987, but I had the first like full box set of cards I got was 1987. That was his rookie year, and I had his rookie card, and he was like this big instead of this big.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we lost the camera
Oh, yeah.
again. But I mean, he was teeny on that baseball card.
Bond's the same way. They were both stick figures. I know you get older, you gain weight, but these guys like exploded.
Well, no, I mean, their heads get.
I mean,
huge.
oh yeah,
You and your head goes, it's like
they're on roids.
the book that what was the book that came out with Barry Bonds? You remember? I read it. I mean, it was all about the Olympian, like the guy here at NC State or whatever. I forget what. Something for Glory or something. I mean, it was a really good book that I mean, it was just crazy how it exposed all that stuff. But I mean, that was like way before it all even came out. But I mean, I think that's the thing. Like, you have all these, you know, we put these sports figures up on these crazy pedestals.
They're people.
Yeah, I mean,
we're all people. We all make mistakes.
Yeah, they make mistakes of trying to.
Night jump.
Bring it back to the beer.
Night jump.
Yeah, what is this? Look at this. Look at this. Look at
All right,
this
so
little special guy.
if you haven't been to Aviator, they now have night jump, which is like 13%. And what is it? What's the
Imperial Stout.
It's Imperial Stout Night Jump. They released it about 2 weeks ago. It's really
So
good.
is it theirs? I mean, is it
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a normal? It's going to be a normal.
Yep,
Okay.
they've already got the can, the branding, all that.
Oh,
and
wow.
then within a couple weeks, they'll be releasing Devil's Nightmare, which is 14.5. And right now, the
November
plan
21st.
is that it's not distribution, not going to be anywhere else,
it's got
but
a
at a
little, like,
release party
little
that you
ticket
can
here,
purchase
isn't it?
tickets at
That's good.
aviator.com and buy tickets for that event. And
Nah.
what was the date? November what?
November 21st.
That's
November
the right
21st.
size. Like one of
Yeah.
these and those would
Yeah.
be like.
So let's wrap this thing up. We got any charity things going on?
I don't know. We keep losing the camera because I keep hitting the camera. Let me see. I was looking here to see, but like everything this week is all about Halloween and fall
Yeah.
and you know, stuff you can go out and do with your kids, which I think is really cool. I mean, you know, I mean, everybody has their own take on Halloween or whatever,
Yeah.
but I think it's a cool time to like be with your family and,
Absolutely.
and get out in the neighborhood. And we went to the Bass Lake. They had a little thing on this past weekend where they had a spectacular or whatever, you know, where you dress up. So I think most of the things I'm seeing this weekend are things that are people doing different things. It looks like there's a trick or treat in downtown Holly Springs this weekend. Looks like there's a Raleigh zombie walk.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That would be, that looks like, it says lurch, shamble, or crawl downtown. So, yeah, you can lurch on over there. And then, we're going to the zoo tomorrow, but it looks like over the weekend there's Boo at the zoo.
I'm going to for Halloween in my neighborhood. If the weather's is good that night, you know, we'll have a trick or treat for kids. But I'm going to set up a bar in the yard, and for every adult that comes by, they'll have an option to have or both. I'm going to have some shots available and cans of beer, so they can take a can with them to go. I'll have some obviously craft beer options for them, and maybe a few stronger beverages, and so kids can get their treat, and the adults can get their treat. So if you're in the neighborhood, you want to stop by our house. So.
I'll tell you a cool thing to go do. Like, just, I mean, since we don't have any big cause type events, but I think a cool place to go. We went recently to the Life and Science Museum over in Durham, and they have a treehouse. New treehouse exhibit or whatever. They have all these crazy tree houses up in the trees that you can, I mean, like adults can get in, kids, everything. I mean, it was awesome. It was like a really cool, they probably had, I don't know, it's like 6 or so of them up in the trees they've done. I mean, it'll be there forever now, but it's a really cool exhibit place to go. Even if you don't have kids, just go check it out. But that's cool with the weather being nice this weekend. It's a really good weekend to get out.
And one more thing, I think I mentioned last week, but in November in Wilmington, we're going to be doing a Cause Beer. We'll be doing a charity drive, Cause CAUSE Beer, down in Wilmington, and we have right now about 7 or 8 breweries and bottle shops that are participating. A few more probably will join on. All the events aren't planned yet, so you can check it out at causebeer.com or at causebeer. We'll have more info coming over the next couple of weeks. We may have some pint nights, might be some food truck participation as well. And if you're in Wilmington this weekend, there is a beer festival, Lighthouse Beer and Wine. They have a beer festival this weekend, so if you're in the Wilmington area, check that out. Or if you're looking for something to do on the weekend, it's Wilmington and beer. I mean, why not? So, anything else before we wrap it up?
No. I can't think of
Okay,
anything else.
and we closed out last week talking about dessert, and no one brought us a dessert this week. So,
We got chocolate hazelnut
oh,
beer.
you're right, we did have it.